Wow, that's about 20,000 feet, by the way.
Yes, and even comparable miles, here we sit safe and sound in Florida right now.
What a tranquil weather pattern we have right now. And if you're visiting and have those rentals going on, you're getting your money's worth because the weather's going to be nice for the next week. You can turn the no, stick with us for the rest of the forecast. I'll tell you all about it. Let's go outside right now and look at our Van Wezel cam showing high clouds that were coming all across the Gulf of Mexico at us today from some storms out there. We'll look at it in a minute, but the sun did manage to peek through, and it was a pretty decent day, even with those clouds. Temperatures at this hour, 67 at Tampa, 59 the cool spot at Panama City, and there is a cool front passing over us right now, the back end of it, delivering slightly drier air. That means it'll be a little bit cooler tonight than last night. Temperatures across the viewing area, upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Now, our current conditions at the airport, 66, the dew point 59. It'll go down a little bit, and I think our lows are going to go down maybe 3 or 4 degrees from the last couple of nights. Our high today right on the money for normal. Last night's low 59, pretty close to normal. We were right in the middle of a real cold snap back in 1970. Set a lot of records, 28. It can get cold this time of year. Also, when we set the clocks back, we lost a lot of daylight in the evening, but we're not going to lose any more from now on. Since Thanksgiving, the sunset time has been 5:36. It's going to be 5:36 until December 8th. Halfway in the middle would be this coming Friday. That's going to be the earliest sunset, and then we'll start getting more light in the evening. But the sunrise, we don't have the latest sunrise at 7:21 until the first week in January. A little astronomical tidbit for you there. Well, these are the storms out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and we get a good view of them on the visible satellite. Actually, a low formed on that trough, and some of those strong storms in the northern and northeast quadrant of that have been blowing off cirrus over in our area, and that's why we had the high clouds today. Other than that, the eastern United States, very quiet. No travel problems from coast to coast. However, from the Pacific Northwest down through California, northern California, they've been getting a fairly vigorous cold front with mountain snow, especially up around Puget Sound. That's where the brunt of the storms, like for a week now. It just will not stop raining, but tomorrow it will, and that front that's causing it will eventually reach us later on. From coast to coast, high pressure pretty much in control until you get to those California weather systems, and there's our trough down in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's not all that cold, although New York City is 43, Boston 40, Toronto is currently 34, 88 at Phoenix, the warm spot on our map right now. Weather headlines for the week ahead. It'll be a little cooler tonight, not that much cooler, about 55. And then mostly sunny this week. It's going to be a great stretch of weather, but a weak front will pass by on Friday that'll just reinforce what we have. Here's the futurecast showing that trough out in the Gulf of Mexico with that low that's formed on it. It's going to go away. High pressure builds in, and if you look for tomorrow and into Tuesday, fair to partly cloudy skies, some showers in South Florida, but it will stay dry for the most part across the Sunshine State. Let's take a look at the long-range futurecast from the European model. It takes us from Tuesday evening, and we look back across the country to that front that's leaving the Pacific Northwest, and by the time it gets here, it will have traveled all across the United States, carrying a parcel of Pacific air, and once it passes over us, it'll have lost its punch, just be drier air, and reinforcing the current weather pattern into next weekend. So you can see from this futurecast, we've got very little change for the next week across the Sun Coast. Here's our forecast for tonight. Partly cloudy and cool, low temperature of 55. And for tomorrow, it'll be a partly sunny to mostly sunny day. It'll be mild with a high temperature of 78. And here's your 7-day outlook. Temperatures warming up to the low 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. And that front comes through on Friday and cools us off a few degrees, but it's still going to be decent. That's your weather for the week ahead. Adam?